it's Scrapbook Bex here. This is my first video for the UK Scrap Addicts design team, and this will feature multiple photos as is the theme for March. And we're still just about in March. I'm the last up for March. So I've decided to go for two 6x4 photos because it takes up a big amount of the page, and when you think multiple photos you suddenly think, oh, must chop everything really mini. But I thought I would go for two larger photos to show that it is possible. So I've picked up a paper pad that I seem to be gravitating towards at the minute, and I've picked out some scraps and some full pages to see what's going on, and I have this big slice of rainbow paper left, which I thought was quite fun. The photos are just of me and my son on holiday a few years ago. Nothing monumental, but still need to be done for the album, so I'm doing a few of these photos at the minute. I liked this green paper, and there is a lot of green in the photos with the trees and my son's clothing. So I've gone for this, but rather than having a big block of it across, which was my thought, I thought that would look like a big cross, which wasn't the design I really wanted. I figured I would just map the photos with it, and then the placement of these photos is the thing that held me up with the layout so long. I faff and faff and faff, and I can't decide which way round they go and which one goes higher and which one goes lower, or if they go together. And so I put that to the side for a bit, and being as I'm only going to have one big strip of pattern paper, I decide to use some mixed media. So I'm doing a bit of packaging technique. This is butter colour, which is really shiny when it goes on. It looks a bit dull here, but it is really shiny when it goes on. I will have a photo over there on the blog of how shiny it is. And I'm just smooshing this down on either side, making sure that it'll pop out from underneath the rainbow paper. And while that was drying, I just thought I would go through a little box of embellishments that I have. Every time I use up a kit and get little leftovers, I put them into the box so that I've got a nice mixture of colours of embellishments, just little bits and bobs of finishing pieces. So I've just popped the photos up onto 3D foam, but I haven't stuck them down yet. And I've picked out some alphabets, which are freckled fawn. I've thought the colours, maybe yellow or this greeny one. I haven't decided at this point, but I like to get things out to inspire me, and then I make decisions later along. This washi tape is a freckled fawn camera washi tape, and just basically in both corners, just to kind of give a diagonal feel to the layout, but I didn't want to end up with two plain corners, so I'm still just figuring it out as I go at this point. And I'm putting also a small washi, a little skinny washi with little copper foil hearts on, just as something else really. And I consider putting that up the sides of the rainbow paper, but it didn't look nice all the way up. But two small pieces do look nice, so I go with that. And then I'm going to look again and keep putting these photographs back. And I'm thinking, do I need to ground them with washi? Are they floating? But I don't. These frames are Pink Fresh Studio, and they've been sitting in my stash for a while from a leftover kit. And being as this is kind of an impromptu photo shoot really, we were waiting for my husband, and my son got his toy camera out and we were just playing around. So the theme is really just taking pictures. That's why I've got the camera washi tape. So I thought the frames might go in with that, but it didn't really work. So in some ephemera leftovers, I found this little acetate piece that says "This rocks," and I'm just attaching that with my tiny attacher. In just 3 places there, just for an extra texture. And then I like this, but the colour green was wrong, so I didn't use that. I'm not sure about that label there because it's so pink and there isn't any other pink. I found out some flare, and these are both freckled fawn flare. So that's bringing in the circular element along with that "This rocks." I have some leftover puffy sticker words that I'm thinking about. So when I get these things out and think about them, like I say, I like to leave them around me, and maybe it'll come to me eventually that yes, that is right for the page, or no, that isn't. The little journaling spot there is an old Amy Tangerine one, I believe. I'm just going to stick this My Mind's Eye tab underneath that, and that's where I'm going to pop my journal in, and then I'll pop that flare, or that flare. I had a big flare debate going on here. I'll pop a flare there when I have finished the journaling. But I've just put on a doodly border with a black pen just to keep everything contained within it, really. Bit of a frame going on. And then I'm going to write my journaling, which just says time for some happy pics while Dad's gone back to the caravan. And, you know, there's a few of these pictures the camera just kept snapping, so it's part of a series in the album, so I don't need to say too much about it. And I pick out the word shine because of the colour, and just because why not? And I'm going to stick that over the tab. I like the pop of pink. It brings in the pink in the rainbows, but I didn't want it to be a real big splash of pink right there, so I just cover it up a bit with the word shine. And then I'm using a Heidi Swap bow just for a bit of something else. And this is where I start to bring in a bit of black and decide that I can have black as an accent colour along. So I've got the black squiggly border, there's the black in the washi tape, so I've put the black on the bow. I've also just pulled out a wood button, and I've been wondering what to use that wood button on for ages. It says 2, but I've just popped it on there because there's 2 of us, so I figured I would use that. And then this little cocoa vanilla resin heart, I'm just sticking that down with some glossy accents, and they stick them really, really well, so I would definitely recommend that. And then I'm going to bring a small circular element up into the top corner, and I've picked out a yellow striped wood button. So then I have the 2 buttons and the flare for 3 circular elements. And I'm just looking at these enamel dots. These are also by Cocoa Vanilla. And these are just a minty colour, stars, hearts and dots. And this is the point where I think, just put the photos down. I still don't quite put the second one down yet. I will do. I still have to faff first. It's too soon. I am trying to be better with sticking stuff down, and that is working for me, but sometimes I can be a bit dilly-dally. So at this point I hadn't thought of a title, and even as I'm sticking this word down here, I haven't quite thought about it. So I was going to go with Pics, 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 and then I thought of this glittery ampersand, which I've had forever. So I decided to go with Pics, Pics and more Pics. And I initially brought out those 2 other coloured alphabets, but I decided to use the black one so that, again, I could use the black as the accent colour. So I needed to place the photo down now so that I could finish off the title. So the ampersand I'm going to layer over the photograph, and I just put Pics, Pics in a foam thicker. I've just turned the layout over there and put some washi tape on the back, because when I use staples, a tiny attacher, I do like to make sure it's not going to scratch on anything else if I'm stacking layouts until they get put in an album. So I'm just finishing off with a few extra enamel dots. I am going to do some splattering in Sweet Mint colour shine. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of roller stamping that says Picture Perfect with an October afternoon stamp. So I'm still splattering there. I'm just splattering around the clusters. So I hope you enjoyed a watch at this layout. I hope you'll go check out the blog where there's lots of other fantastic designers, and look out for a new theme coming in April. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon, either over on my channel, which is Scrapbook Bex, or back on here with lots of lovely ladies. See you soon. Bye.